Tim Onlu goes over a tenth of a second fast.
Now then guys, how are we doing? It's the Formula Track League back again in the Sprint Series. It's the second of 4 rounds in the new NASCAR Series. We have arrived to the Indianapolis 150. As you can see, only 5 cars on the grid today. We've had many different issues, but we managed to persevere. We managed to get your Dragoon on pole, as you can see there. Rositis alongside him, Merrick 3rd, Ward 4th, and Southwood 5th. So it is really a Concord, DAC, and Racing Army shootout. 60 laps of the Indianapolis circuit. Very interesting choice. Obviously, we know that Indianapolis is meant for IndyCar and that Daytona is meant for NASCAR. I am Robbie Arthur, and alongside me, Alex Cochran. Hello, Alex. How are you?
Hello, glad to be there. Ooh, one of the cars just went off on the formation lap. We're just coming around the formation lap now onto the start-finish straight, and I think Southwood's just made a mistake and spun the car, but we will be getting alongside shortly, underway shortly.
Yep, he's spun there. So that is, like I said, it is Concord, DAC, and Racing Army. A 3-way shootout here. Only 5 cars racing. It's a bit like, quite similar to what we had in the IndyCar last season. We only had 5-6 cars on average. But never mind. It's a rolling start, as you can see. Lining up now. And we'll be underway imminently. They are off. Southwood's caught up. I think they're off now. Yeah, they are. So then it's turn 1. They've clearly made it through. Dragoon leads. Rositis, no changes to the order. Assume the order won't much look different to what it had done at the start of the race. But yeah, Dragoon retains the lead then. Samuel Ward.
But Merrick looks up the inside.
Goes. He's going to want to get up there quite quickly.
Oh, they touch.
They're gonna go. Oh God! Yes, they have, and that's a DAC teammate collision. Wow! And they are both off. And well, you wouldn't have thought that they'd have collided. There's only 5 cars in the race. Yes, they have. Somehow they've managed to collide. Well, they will keep going. As well.
Yeah, that's promoted Southwood up to 3rd, so really unfortunate contact there. Obviously, well, not obviously, we haven't really gone over much. There's a big bump on the inside of turn 3 here, which looks right on board with Dragoon. Yeah, on the inside of turn 3, there's a big bump, and we saw both cars get pushed out wide, and then just little contact between Merrick and Rositis it was, and yeah, just Ward obviously taking his chances, trying to get those positions, and the contact just taking them both off, which is unfortunate for the team, obviously. I won't be too happy about that, but there is 60 laps in this race. We're only lap 3 now, as a Dragoon will be starting the 4th lap in the lead by 1.6 seconds already.
Dragoon racing for Concord. Remember last week he was on course to take the World Championship in the Premier Series, keep that going, but he's won it and lost it. He'll be rather hoping he can maybe get a bit of redemption on the Sprint Series side of things.
You can see, although they had the collision, Merrick and Ward, they are still setting competitive times. That was a 50.5, which is only a couple of tenths below what Dragoon and Rositis were doing in P1 and P2. So they're not got bad pace, but obviously 12 seconds back is a big gap they're going to have to make up as Dragoon starts the 5th lap now, with just pulling away from Rositis at the moment.
Seems like this race could go quite quickly. As yeah, we're already on the 5th lap there. Obviously, last time Formula Track came to Indianapolis, it was the Indy 250, which was a lot longer than this. It was 100 laps. It's only 60 laps, so this race will be a lot quicker than the last one.
That being said, though, these cars are a little bit slower. I think we were having about 30-second lap times before. They're around 50 seconds now. So or maybe 40 seconds compared to 50 seconds. So it should be a similar amount of time. Unfortunately, the camera angles are not doing us any favors
They're
here.
awful, aren't they? Yeah, I was having a nose at the timings earlier, and we were seeing about 50 seconds, like late 40s, early 50s, sometimes in terms of laps. So could be very similar, similar timings, just similar race length to the car race. Yeah, Southwood obviously promoted up to third. I think yeah, Dragoon hasn't improved on his lap time there.
No, just in the upper 49s at the moment. So still the one to catch, and he's still pulling away from the others, but not by a big margin. Obviously, a little mistake we've seen before at the other oval races we've ran here in Formula Trout. You just tap the wall and it can just throw your race away. I had the collision with Stevenson last time out at Indianapolis, which was ruled as a racing incident, but that completely ruined his race. Just a little tiny bit of contact, and he went from fighting for the lead down to, I think, 6th position, 3 or 4 laps down. So yeah, just one tiny mistake and that's it, race over. So the drivers are going to have to be really, really careful. As Dragoon sets another 49, we'll see what the others can do. Yep, 50.1 from Rositis, Southwood 50.5, and then a big 13-second gap to American Ward behind.
It seems like that nor Jace or Sam Lag are pulling it back, which don't forget, they've still got time. They've got nearly 50. They've got like 50 laps to go.
We'll just use our drone cam that Sim Racing provides us with. Allows us to get some interesting camera views. Unfortunately, our normal views aren't working too well, as we are just on the outside of turn 4 here. Should help to visualize the gaps. You can see Dragoon, and 3 seconds to Rositis, 6 seconds to Southwood. Not big gap margins, but being on an oval, it really makes a difference, and a huge gap to American Ward behind. The Dragoon sets a fastest lap with a 49.94. Again, 3/10 faster than Rositis in P2. We ride on board with him now.
Yep. Concord versus DAC, it was ruled. There's only one Concord in this race. There are 3 DAC cars. We're actually not on board with Concord. We're on board with Rositis, who's in second. It's gradually keeping that gap about 3 seconds, which could help if Dragoon makes a mistake. He can probably capitalise on that.
Oof.
And get up to lead.
You can just see it have to lift there into turn 3. What I talked about earlier, the bump on the inside. Turn 1 flat, turn 2 flat, but the bump on turn 3, you need to lift. And as you saw then, car gets really loose, goes right up to the outside wall. You don't want to be hitting that outside wall because that would literally ruin your race. So, but again, Dragoon pulling away. Not really much the other drivers seem to be able to do to respond to him.
Yep, it seems like it's going to be a Dragoon race here. He is pulling away. Now, nearly 3 seconds now. He's pulled away number 2/10 there.
Yeah, Dragoon's obviously. Yeah, Dragoon's no stranger to ovals. I think he won last time out at Pocono, was it? Or finished P2 at least. So he's, clearly had the experience. And putting it to good use here. As you say, DAC has the bit of the numerical advantage with only 1 Concord car, but maybe Merrick, Ward may have another incident, might have to DNF, throws everything out the window. So we'll see how it goes as we are on lap 10 now.
Merrick and Ward could catch up to Southwood, them 3 might crash, and then that's it. Only 2 drivers finish.
Yeah, well,
quite psychedelic, but I doubt it will. Obviously, Simon Ward, an established driver in the Master Split, and I've seen people projecting that he wants to go for the championship maybe for season 10.
Yeah, well, he won out. Sorry, go on.
He's very established. Chase Merrick, obviously, a Master Split drive is imminent for him as well. Let's not forget. But yeah, so they should.
Ooh. Oh, as Ward hits the wall.
Oh, he's hit the wall. Yeah.
Turn 3, like we said, 70 kilometers an hour, the impact with the wall there, so super fast. I don't think he's going to have to pit because these cars can really take a beating, but Yeah, as you said, Ward does have experience in Master Split. He's a very, very quick driver. He won last time out in Watkins Glen after Stevenson didn't start the race. So he's currently the championship leader, but down in 5th position. I think Dragoon winning this round would promote him to the championship lead. He might even drop behind Merrick in P4 because he's only 5 points behind him, I believe. It was Windows just provides us a notification sound. Apologies for that.
So it's now 4 seconds now between that front two. Ward is closing on Merrick as well. Looking at the live times, I think Jake's like something like 350 laps. Somewhat massive, a really big number. So theoretically, he should have the most experience, but he wasn't the fastest on the server.
Ew.
So
that privilege
Dragoon
goes to Dragoon, yeah. So, and you can clearly see he's putting his practice into effect here, and is, you said, leading 4 seconds now. Merrick and Ward down in 4th and 5th. Southwood still hanging on in 3rd, but a big gap to Resistis behind, in front. Sorry.
Yep, that is how it is happening. Still Resistis. If he can close that gap. Would he lead the championship if he won? I don't think he would he?
Who, sorry?
Resistis. If he won, would he lead the championship?
I mean, it's a possibility. I know it depends on obviously depends on the other positions of the drivers. Ward is our leader currently, but yeah, he's only in 5th position at the moment. Doesn't really seem to be able to make any effect on anyone. Look, he's in 51.2 there, so losing time to the others in front. He's going to really have to do something. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe let a pit, get that fixed and go on a charge to the end. We're projecting that there's a lot more pit stops in NASCAR, isn't there?
Yeah, but surprisingly, a lot of drivers were talking about a 1-stop, I believe, picking on around lap 30, because they can just about do it. But it'll be very, very tight. Obviously, we've seen Merrick and Ward have the incidents there, so they have damage. I don't know if how will affect their fuel usage, but they might have to do 2 pit stops, maybe a splash and dash at the end. So we look at the back of one of the pit garages there.
Cameras, fantastic.
Yeah, we have a very packed crowd here watching our
5
exhilarating 5-car race around Indianapolis. As you can hear the rumble of the safety car in the pit lane.
5 all over again.
Yeah, this is actually it. As Dragoon comes around the pit lane to start his 15th lap. Resistis just behind. And, yeah, a big gap to Southwood. 6 seconds. Getting right up to the wall there. Obviously, in Assetto Corsa, there is no side draft like there is in real life. I think 6 inches of the wall the cars have to run in real life to be able to get a side draft from the wall. They don't have that here, so no requirement to push it just to the limit. But, you know, some drivers are really maximising trying to open the corners up as much as possible to try to get to the outside of the track to open the corners up as much as possible and carry as much speed through them as possible.
As we go back to Dragoon, he's now got 4.2 second gap. Who's behind him? Like I said, he's on 15 laps now. He's gradually making his way through this race. I think that's the 16th now, isn't it? It is.
Yes. Starting the 16th lap with a 50.001. Almost a nice round number, but still ahead of Resistis there. He's doing a 50.2, and then Southwood 6 seconds back. We'll just see what he does as he comes across the line. Yeah, 50.4. So gaps between all the cars increasing at the moment. That's Merrick, and yeah, so Merrick's 50.2, so he's catching his teammate Southwood. But 6 seconds gap is a lot to make up. There is 44 laps remaining, so still time, but we'll see.
So there it is. We look onto the 82 car on the Concorde is let's say he's really emulating the Concorde. Quite quick out there today. He's got that gap up to 4.5 seconds now. To Agnes with Resistis behind him. So there he is. There's Resistis on the main straight.
Dragoon with a 50.2 that time, so he's slowing down a little bit. Maybe he's just saving the car, saving the tyres, and maybe just made a little mistake. Yeah, Dragoon in the Concorde. First few races as he's now the owner of the team after a previous owner, Ty Isom, just gave the team to him after a short absence. So yeah, Dragoon owner driver now, doing a pretty good job.
He is doing my team, and he's yeah, it seems like he's controlling it all well. Out at the minute, it's I think he's on his 17th lap now. Yes, he is.
Yeah, let's see what the lap times is. It was a mistake, or he is backing off a little bit. Yeah, so 50.3, so even slower. So maybe the tyres are starting to drop off now. Obviously, Rositis actually caught him that lap. Only 1/10 of a second, and you know, I think it's a 4-second gap, so he'd have to be catching him for 40 laps to be able to actually get closer. But you know, you never know what might happen. As Merrick does a 50.2, so he's faster as well, setting personal bests back there. Oh.
We don't know if he's pitted. He might have pitted and maybe got a damage sorted out.
Yeah,
I
I don't believe so. Obviously, Ward in P5, 8 seconds back from his teammate Merrick now, has clearly the damage is impacting him because he's in the 51s, which is a good second slower than the rest of the field. But the problem is what we discussed earlier. You can maybe do the 1-stop. If you have to do that 2-stop, that extra pit stop's just going to cost you a lot of time. It's just not worth it from overall. Yeah, you're going to be slow, but you're not going to be able to make the positions up anyway, so make do with what you've got, unfortunately.
Yeah, as Merrick doesn't improve that time around. Still Dragoon in the lead, he's controlling it quite comfortably now. He's well on course to win it at this point, 20 laps done. He is. He's a third of the way there now. I've had to do my maths.
Just about, yeah. And he's a 4-second gap already. No signs of issue, no signs of error. You know, everything can change in the pit lane. We saw back in Indianapolis, in the VSC Formula America car. The pit stops. Some cars gained maybe 4, 5, 6 seconds in the pit stops. Doesn't sound like much, but when the splits are only 4 seconds, 3 seconds to the car behind, car in front, that can really change the order. I just want to compliment the sounds of these cars. They're really, really impressive sounds. Thundering around the track. RSS Studio, the developers of this car, this is the RSS Studio Hyperion. Really, really impressive sounds. It sounds very authentic to a unnamed net racing series that not sure what it's authentic to, but I'm sure some of the people in the viewers know.
It's another good sound car. I know that a few of my mates who were on within the Lion server earlier, they were messing about in Daytona with these endurance cars. I don't know what they're called. DPI, I think it's one of them. They sounded quite nice as well. But not only these cars, yeah, they do sound quite nice. They emulate that NASCAR feeling, that NASCAR vibe a bit more, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Big American V8.
7 litre. Is it? I mean, I should probably watch NASCAR a bit more. I don't know too much about it.
Yeah, I can't say I'm an avid viewer of oval racing in real life. I've done my fair share of oval races on Assetto Corsa, a few on R Factor 2, but yeah, real life, not the most avid viewer, but yeah, they definitely fit the what I think of an oval racing car, a NASCAR sound. This is kind of what I think of.
Still, we're on board with the Zitters now. It's he's not really being able to close that gap, not too much at least. Well, let's see if he can get it back down.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds at Dragoon, so big lift through turn 3 there. Just the tyres will be going, yeah, the fuel's coming down, but tyres are the main things. I wonder if the drivers will take new tyres. Obviously, we saw at Watkins Glen, some cars gambled just fuel. Some cars took the tyres. I was one of the cars which didn't take tyres, and in the end ended up with Resitis, who we're on board with now. We had contacts, pushed me off a little bit, but it's fine. It's NASCAR, Rubbin is racing, but yeah, the old tyres, I couldn't make any progress on those tyres, obviously, so I just dropped back. I think Gibson, Benoit, and Resitis all just pulled away, so I went from P3 to P7 in the end of the race. So it'll be really interesting to see how they do it in this oval. I'm not sure how the tyres do wear. There's a big lift as he almost hits the wall like Ward did a few laps prior. And manages to stay out. You can see how loose the car is, around turn 4 even. He's flat out, but the car's moving around. Obviously very, very little aero in these cars. Just basically the force of the air hitting the body, and that's about it, really. Little gurney flap on the rear.
Yep, that gap is now 6 seconds.
Ooh, as he lifts through turn 1 now as well, so really, really struggling with the tyres.
Yep, not much time's improving, also the tyres will be dropping off at this point. So will the fuel, or the fuel will be getting lighter. I don't think they can make a full race of fuel on that stuff, can they?
No, nowhere near. I think a full tank takes them to around lap 30, which is why we're expecting to see the one stop. But if you have to pit a few laps earlier, you know, maybe you're revving the car out a little more, following them in the draft, you might have to do an extra pit stop again, or have to do some pretty major fuel saving in that second stint, which is really going to compromise your race.
So, I'm trying to see, but this stuff it's very blurry. I think it's 6 seconds now between that top.
Yeah, 6.1 seconds to Dragoon from Resistis. You can just see him come around turn 3 now, a little dot in the distance. As we switch to Dragoon now, just coming through turn 4, starting lap 25 up to lap 26. Sorry, pretty much perfect so far. You can't really give him any criticism.
Can't fault him, can you?
No, it's led from the start, pole position, lap 26. Not really made any mistakes as such. Obviously, an oval is very different to a circuit race. You don't want to be going wide here because you will just hit the wall and that'll be race over. But yeah, he's managing what he needs to do and doing a great job, clearly. I think just looking a little further back, I think we will be seeing the DAC racing cars battling, as Merrick is just 2 seconds behind Southwood now. He's brought that gap down from around 6 or 7 seconds. So Merrick is the fastest of the 3 DAC racing cars at the moment, but yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully we won't see any contact again. Obviously it wasn't the cars racing which caused the contact, but the DAC cars racing which caused the contact, but there was contact between 2 cars which led to the DAC racing cars collide. We might hopefully don't see that again if/when Merrick catches up to Southwood. It's only 1.6 seconds now, so he's really started closing that gap. I wonder if Southwood's tyres are going or Merrick's just really pushing hard now. Yeah, 7 tenths there.
He's seems like he's driving his life out of that car at the minute. Just 1.5 seconds, or just under 1.5 seconds, is that gap between the front 2. And yeah, it's coming down gradually, but it is coming down.
Wonder if it's turn 3 where South is having the problems. Obviously we saw that's the most technical corner on the track, the one where you need to lift, and oh, as he hits the wall, oh, as he's gone off.
A huge incident for
big incident.
There. Oh,
keeps it out the inside wall, but yeah, that'll be disaster for him. Just as we were on board with him.
He's bottled it, yep. He's coming into the pits now. Yeah, not very ideal for the man from the Isle of Man.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate to see. He'll have a penalty now as well, I think, because crossing the pit lane line, which the series, head of the series just discussed in the driver briefing prior to the race, so that'll be compounding the issue. Is, you know, lap 28, maybe he's going to have to save the fuel now. Merrick's in P3, Ward's passed him in P4, so yeah, really going to have a lot of work to do now. I'm not really sure what he's going to be able to manage.
It's going to be very difficult for Dave Southwood, but it's not all doom and gloom. Any of them four, they could easily bottle it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've seen Ward and Southwood already, you know, turn 3, just wash out a little wide, hit that wall, yeah, so it could be Dragoon next, you never know. He's been perfect so far, but no one's immune to a mistake.
Yeah, obviously, I did the last race in Indianapolis, and I could probably tell you that it's like, even if you dip or wheel on the grass, you're in the wall on the right. It's that hard.
Yeah, the margins are super thin on an oval like this. You can see the car wobbling as he comes out turn 4, so the tyres really clinging on here. Not sure how much fuel he'll have left in the tank, but all 3 cars are probably going to be start to pit soon.
We've reached the halfway mark. There's 30 laps to go here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, so we'll just take a look down pit road, see if any of the cars start to pit. Obviously not too much fight going out in front. Safety cars in the pit lane, the safety cars. Merrick stays out a lap. Ward stays out another lap, which I think is surprising to see with the damage, but you know, Southwood's the only one to have pitted, and I believe he's a lap down now on the other cars. So yeah, it's not working out for Southwood so far. Obviously he did just have the incident, which is why it's not working out for him, but just passes now P5 40 seconds behind his teammate. As it looks like
increases again.
Dragoon and Rositis stay out for another lap, so we were expecting the halfway point to be when they would pit, but still staying out at the moment.
Maybe we could get the fuel consumption app up for Dragoon, see what fuel he's on. Is it low? Is it still steady? It should expect maybe 30 laps would be the rough.
Unfortunately, we don't get given that information as we just bring up the fuel data app here, but we're not getting any of the information that we need. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's a mystery at the moment. He rounds turn 4. Will he be coming? No, he's not coming into the pits because they have to use the apron in these cars. On the inside, coming on the inside of turn 3, use the apron round turn 3, turn 4. To I'm actually just thinking. They have to use the apron, but I believe the time penalty for cutting is only 5 seconds. So depending on how long it would take you to use the apron, it might be more advantageous to just cut the pit entry.
Good.
I'm not saying any of the drivers have tried that, but I think the rule is just a flat 5 seconds, as we do see Dragoon coming into the pit lane now, entering the apron on turn 3. Obviously, you're going to be super slow through here. You really have to back off. The lack of aero means you have to be super careful. You don't want to lose the rear when the car's set up to be as slippery as possible for the ovals. I think Rositis might be staying out for another lap. Yeah, so Rositis is staying out for another lap, so he will now claim the lead and will actually gain an extra point for leading a lap, because leading a lap gains you points in the NASCAR series. As Dragoon makes his way down pit road now, Rositis takes the lead. I think Merrick might be pitting. Yep, so Merrick's pitting too, reacting to Dragoon in front. See what Ward does. Obviously, he has the damage, so it would be really advantageous for him to pit. Is he making his way around? Yeah, we can see Ward is coming down the pit lane now.
Even if he dips wheel onto the grass, that's a penalty, isn't it?
Yeah, the super strict. It's obviously for the safety. You don't want a car to make the way over into the racing line. So 0 tolerance rule on the pit line as he enters the pit road. Dragoon's just on the pit exit now. Rositis will be coming round. He's obviously yet to pit, but he will be picking up that extra point for leading a lap as he stays out for another lap. So surprising to see here.
Just inherits the race lead then. It'll be interesting to see, because you haven't pitted yet, but American Ward have.
It's so
zoned out for a second there. Has Dragoon pitted?
Yes, Dragoon. Rositis is the only car remaining on track, so I think you'll expect him to pit this lap, but Rositis in the number 17 staying out an extra 2 laps. Yeah, he looks to the inside now, so lap 34, Rositis will be taken on less fuel than the other drivers. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually manages to gain some time on Dragoon here. Might even jump him in the pit lane. We saw this in IndyCar in the Formula North Americas before. This Dragoon's making his way around now on the start-finish straight. Ward's still in the pits. There must be massive damage for Ward as he's leaving the pit lane now. Very, very long time to fix the damage. So Southwards jumped in. Resistis into the pit lane now. I think Dragoon should have this quite easily. Obviously, he had the 6-7 second gap. But I remember back in the when we ran the 1999 car, the Formula North America's 99, the overcuts was massive if you had extra fuel, because a car on heavy fuel is much slower than a car on old tires and light fuel. So we just saw Resistis run an extra 3 laps then. So maybe he'll come out the pits in front of Dragoon. 30 seconds the gap now as Resistis gets rolling again. I think Resistis... No. The timing... the timing screen's wrong. Dragoon reclaims the lead. Resistis will be coming out in P2.
Yep, he goes. Yeah, he's coming out P2 there behind Dragoon.
Yeah, and around the same amount of time, 7 seconds. So Resistis' strategy of going long there didn't really pay off this time round.
Yeah, Chase Merrick's nowhere near him either. So it seems like it will be like that to the end, barring any mistakes.
We saw Southwood made the error earlier on, but his early pit stop has actually not cost him too much. He's only 3 seconds behind Merrick there, so managed to get a little closer after that mistake. I doubt he'll be able to make any moves. Maybe a bit of team orders will... well, not team orders, but, you know, they're going to be talking in the voice chat in the team channels. Yeah, so Dragoon on the new tyres, the new fuel. Clearly he's took new tyres because he's not going to be faster on full tank of fuel with old tyres. Yeah, Dragoon setting the pace once again here at Indianapolis.
It's now 9 seconds between that front two. Gradually going up still. Nothing much has changed in the pit stops. 2/3 of the way there now. Seems like this is going to be one of Dragoon's easier wins that he's had in Formula Trout. He's joining season 7, I think.
Yeah, I mean, nothing to say it isn't easy for the drivers. Obviously, they are putting in lots of practice, lots of setup work, and the driving, you know, yeah, maybe he's not doing wheel-to-wheel racing, but he still has to maintain those lap times. Try, you know, keep up the pace for the whole 60 laps, and managing that so far. Maybe it's easy, but I'm sure he wouldn't say that.
It's now 9 seconds, I think, now, pretty much, in the front two. 33 seconds to Jason up behind. I don't think that front two is going to change anytime soon.
Yeah, that's a huge gap to see. I wonder if Merrick had problems in the pit lane, because I think the gap was only around 10 seconds to Resistis before, so I wonder if he had problems there, or... Yeah, I don't know, because look, 25 seconds to Resistis in P2. Very, very big gap.
If you look on board, there's the AC of Jace Merrick. Getting very close to the wall there. It's, still keeping it going on the road.
Right on the limit. He did actually catch Resistis a little bit there, but 24-second gap. He's going to have a lot of work, as I think he just set the fastest lap, or very, very close to it. 49.923. That's not much off Dragoon's fastest lap. We'll just check the data. Yeah, only 1,000th of a second off Dragoon's fastest lap, so almost identical pace there.
It's a lot for Jace as we hit lap 39. 24 seconds in 20 laps. It is doable, but it will be very difficult.
Yeah, he'd have to be catching around a second a lap, and I think that last lap was only about 0.2, so... Yeah, unless Resistis is going to make a mistake, which, as we said before, no one is immune to. We've seen 2 drivers make mistakes already. But, yeah, as Merrick goes right up close to the wall again. See what lap time this is this time round. 50.1, so actually Resistis faster that lap, so unlikely that anything is going to happen, as he has to lift into turn 1 quite substantially.
Yep. Gap brought down. by Resitis. Maybe Dragoon might be just doing a bit of saving. We'll have to see though. There he is, look.
Eventually.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Camera angle's doing us a lot of favours here.
Oh,
Oh, someone's hit the wall. I think Agnes has hit the wall outside out of turn 1 or turn 2.
It seems alright. Maybe look at his steering wheel. Is it to the right or to left offset?
Yeah, it seems to be okay. It just came up on our timing there. Just a little tap with the wall. Just 10km/h impact. I just brushed it maybe, but you don't want to be doing that. We've seen cars before just brush the wall and then it pulls them towards it and you can get massive damage, put you out the race. So I think Resist is going to have to back off a little bit here, be a little bit more careful. The lap time is 9.3 seconds to Dragoon, so yeah, 50.5. Clearly made a mistake that lap.
As we are now well over 2/3 of the way there. Time is running out for Agnes Resist to bring that gap down. Like we have referred to many times, no one is immune to a mistake.
Merrick, another 49. Sorry to interrupt. Merrick's really pushing. He sets another 49 after 5-6 laps on the tyres already. So really trying to close that gap. Maybe pressure Resistance into a mistake. He knows he's not going to catch, but keep Resistance watching those timing screens.
Could also maybe which will put him off potentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's going down. So well, let's anything's worth a try at the minute. Kind of Ward to the line. He's set a 50 there, I think, as well.
Yeah, so Ward, after the initial issues early on, clearly the car did have damage because now he's setting much better lap times. But yeah, 26 seconds to his teammate, and then another 30 odd seconds to the Racing Army car in P2. Really sure what you will be able to do. Obviously, P5 is a great points haul. Yeah, there's not many drivers, but you know that allows the drivers to make mistakes, push really hard. As Dragoon sets fastest lap there.
Yep. So Dragoon's only getting quicker, as well as we are slowly starting to descend in this race to the end.
Ooh, Dragoon is really pushing. You can see he has to lift into turn 2 there, just trying to carry as much speed as possible. I think Jace is also setting fastest purple sectors through some of the corners. Oh, it looks like Dave's... Oh, big crash through turn 4 for Southwood. Is he on the racing line? Is there going to be any contact? Should be okay. Car's still moving. Yeah, as Dragoon gets by safely, but yeah, huge crash for Southwood there. Spinning round and round. Clearly, exit to turn 3 caught him out again. That's going to probably allow Ward to jump up to P4.
You might do. Don't forget to have that any damage he's got. You can well get damage in this car, as I've learned. If your tyres are hot, it's all over basically.
Yeah, he's staying. Well, he doesn't want to get the penalty. Obviously, he went off at turn 3. If he cuts that pit lane, he's going to get a penalty. So
he's got a penalty on his way, possibly as well.
Yeah, has to stay out another lap, but yeah, not ideal for Southwood. And I think it's rare to see a mistake from Southwood. Obviously, I'm the owner of DAC Racing. I know my drivers very well. Southwood is, you know, in Premier Series, he's been one of the most consistent just racing. He's just so consistent, so careful with other drivers. It's very rare to see a mistake from him. But yeah, Southwood clearly not comfortable this race, making a couple of mistakes, which have just threw his race away, unfortunately. As he stays out another lap, so clearly does not feel like pitting. Maybe trying to maximise the minimise the loss. He is in front of Ward still, so we'll see what he can do. Let's ride on board with him here.
Yeah, Ward's setting relatively decent times. The gap is coming down between them two.
Oops, sorry. I just had a report that Jace may have hit the wall as well outside of turn 3, so clearly all 3 DAC racing cars suffering here. You can see Southwood checking his mirrors there into turn 3.
Yep.
The car's loose again.
DAC on for third, fourth, and fifth. Dragoon hasn't set hasn't gone any faster this time. He's on that set a 50.1, I think. Yeah, there's Dragoon. He's 45 laps. No, 10 seconds now.
Yeah, it's super impressive pace compared to the rest of the field. Because it isn't Merrick. Because it looks like Merrick's hit the wall again. Still seems to be okay, but yeah. Look, so Merrick 50.3 there. He's pushing maybe just a little too hard. Sorry, say again.
Maybe Chase might be pushing a little bit too hard, potentially overdriving it, which you don't want to do that. There is a limit to these cars, especially the NASCARs. So you've got to be careful here.
We'll just go on board with Samuel Ward here. He's just 1 second behind Southwood now. So Southwood with the damage, not able to keep up that pace. It looks like Ward will be about to pass him. Yeah, so 7/10 Ward caught that lap. But wonder if we'll see Southwood just wave him through, or maybe he'll defend to the end. We know how hard it is to pass around here. I don't think we've actually seen any overtakes this race so far. So maybe.
I think the only overtakes we've seen are from people making mistakes.
Yeah, so
Well, pit stop.
Ward just 8/10 behind now, just getting into the draft. Getting that extra few kilometers of an hour. So Southwood's wide through turn 3 again. Oh, as he hits the wall. So Southwood brushes the wall again. Ward right up behind him.
Yeah, here we go. Here comes Samuel Ward. Show them men straight. This will be the first legit overtake. And yeah, that seems quite easy for Samuel Ward.
See the DAC racing cars passing each other there quite cleanly. Obviously Southwood didn't put up too much of a fight. He knows he has damage, knows he has the issue, but yeah, that's our first overtake of the race so far, I believe.
That is without a mistake or a pit stop.
Yeah.
So we got a bit of action. We can say we got a bit of action this race.
Yeah, we're better than Formula 1 at Sochi, so there we go. Oh, it's Merrick again. Damage. Brushed the wall again.
He keeps hitting that with them walls, doesn't he? It seems alright. He didn't. Yeah, he might have pushed the wall. I think so. Pushed the wall there.
Oh, Southwood again. Hopping up on our telemetry, we can see when the cars have collisions, when they have problems, and yeah, Southwood clattered the wall super hard there. Lost 1.5 seconds to the car in front, but Dragoon in P1, number 82, leading 9 seconds on lap 49, 60. Not really put a foot wrong so far. Oh, it's a yellow flag for Southwood. Sorry to switch away, but yeah, Southwood, another mistake. Turn 1 this time, I think.
Yep.
Managed to keep out of trouble, but yeah, just Southwood not having a good race here. I think he's going to get lapped by his teammate Merrick here now, but Dragoon, lap 50 of 60, still in the lead, 50.0088. Great lap times. This is nothing he can do about it.
Going quite well for the Czech Republic driver Jan Dragoon at the minute. He's doing quite well out there. Nearly 10 seconds is the gap. Not quite 10 seconds yet.
Oh, 10 seconds now.
Yeah, there you go. As I was waiting for that. 10 seconds. He's well over 3/3 there now. 10 laps.
3/3?
Did I say 3/3?
You did say 3/3. I think you mean 5/6.
Sometimes I just cannot speak English.
Yeah. Well, it's sorry, Ward again hits the wall. Yeah, just every now and again we see on the telemetry that we've got on our timing screens, we can see the cars, their impact sensors registering contact with the wall, and it's Ward again hitting the wall, turn 3. It doesn't seem to have affected him too much. Not the fastest lap, but clearly these RSS Hyperions able to take a beating compared to the open wheel cars that we usually run here in Formula Trout.
Back to Dragoon. He's still flying high out in the lead at the minute. It's now 10.2 seconds. That gap's not coming down anytime soon, I can tell you that. Unless the point of curse type coming in play. apart, but I can't see it happening. Dragoon obviously an established master split driver now. He was one of the only few drivers that could fight Moradi for the championship. So he should. It would probably show his experience that he can bring home P1.
Yeah, well, we saw last time out in the master split, he just lost the lead on the last lap of the race. Just little mistake. Let Moradi through for the championship. So obviously Dragoon was quite a few points back, but that win I think would have kept him in contention. But yeah, the little mistake lost it. But here in the Hyperion, still keeping up the pace, leading this, righting his wrongs almost. Not made any mistakes so far. Hopefully we won't see a mistake on the last lap like we did in Premier Series. As Southwood in front has huge damage as Dragoon is catching him at around 5 seconds a lap. So we'll have to let him through because obviously he is lap traffic, but might impact Dragoon's race, just throw him off a little bit. As he moves to the inside out turn 2 and allows Dragoon through unimpeded, which is good to see. Obviously there is blue flags, but we've seen before some cars not quite paying attention when they should be, and even causing incidents. We've seen quite very harsh penalties in fact for that in the past. So yeah, Dragoon through with no incident.
We all know blue flags is quite a big rule. But yeah, it seems like south of the I think it was water. I saw that again, sorry. Yeah, he's abided to that. Dragoon still flying out in front. He's got 5 laps to go. I said this race was going to go quick. It has. We are thinking about the end already. That is Resistance we're looking at now. It's set 50.1 there. That's now 10.1. Get second gap between them two. 5 laps to go.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Obviously, with an oval race, you have a lot of laps, 60 laps. You only have to be 1 or 2 tenths slower per lap, and it can just, you know, we see the 2 tenths per lap, and that's allowed Dragoon to pull a 10-second gap. Yeah, there's no pit stops like there is in Formula Hybrid races where you can, you know, bolt on a new set of C4 tyres, maybe go a second a lap faster. It's your pace is your pace here, you know, and that's you keep that up through the whole race, and it just allows you to make that huge gap, insurmountable gap, basically.
What I believe Alex is consistency, consistent quick laps, and that seems like what Dragoon's done, and it's been quite rewarding. So yeah, still nevertheless it'll be a big podium for Resistance though. It'll be he's obviously the only racing army driver in this race.
Yeah, I mean, Resistance is doing a really good job here as he passes Southwood, who's just lets him through with the damage. Yeah, he's done a really great job. Obviously, Resistance is no stranger as well. It's the same as Dragoon to oval racing. He's took part in a few before. I don't think he's had any specifically standout results, but clearly here, P2 kept the consistency what the DAC racing cars have not been able to do, and yeah, is on track to finish in P2 if he can just survive another 4 or 5 more laps.
Yep, so 4 to go. South of Solani can't improve. It's like Dragoon's still out in front. We cut to the I'm a Dragoon. Like I said, it's consistency, it's keeping that level with 3 laps to go.
Just wondering if any of the drivers are worrying about fuel. Obviously, we saw Resistance pitting a little later, so he's going to be able to push completely to the end, but just wondering if any of the other drivers are having to back off a little bit through some of the corners just to save those extra few litres. Or maybe gallons if this is in America. Now you'd see him lifting through turn 3, but not really any difference. Ward just registered a little impact sensor there. It doesn't seem to have affected him too much. Seems to be going okay. Ooh, maybe not. Looks like big damage. Yeah, as Ward's made a mistake actually on the inside of turn 2. Kept the car rolling, but dropped a lot of time to his teammate in front. But Southwood not really able to make any difference on that, as we have seen throughout the race. Basically, make a mistake really seem to matter. The gaps are big enough that the drivers are getting away with it.
It's 2 laps to go here in Indianapolis. It's still going out in front, or it's behind. So yes, we are quickly coming to the end of the race.
Oh, it looks like Southwood had a problem. Yeah,
he's given up.
So Southwood must have had an incident. Ward pitting on the second to last lap. I wonder why.
Is he doing the F1 tax and going fast lap?
I don't think he's got enough time to do it. I don't think so.
Is that nothing to his rules that you get a point fastest lap?
I don't believe so, and I don't think he has enough time to do it anyway, because Dragoon is now starting lap 59. He'll come out the pit lane and only have 1 or 2 laps to do. Maybe it's just to get the car to the end, or maybe, as we did say, some drivers might running on fumes, running out of fuel at the end, might have to just put that extra 2 gallons, 1 gallon of fuel in just to get it over those last 2 or 3 laps. I think it is important to say, I think it's only 80% distance you have to complete to be classified, so all drivers throughout have been within that 80%, so I think even Southwood, who DNF'd on lap 57 that was, will score full points.
So it's just going to end, it's on the penultimate lap. Is on the last, is that the last lap?
Yep, starts the final lap. Dragoon, the white flag will be out now as he comes through turn 1. Big lift through there, so the fuel is low, but the tyres not too happy wearing through those through the set of tyres he's got on the car. No signs of backing off. He's obviously not complacent with his lead. He has 10 seconds, but still full throttle to the end of the race. And into turn 3, keep it clean. No need to push. Yeah, big lift, keeping it careful. Doesn't want to make a mistake on the last lap like he did in the Premier Series.
Oh, someone's alarmed for him.
Apologies for that. Yeah, as Dragoon rounds the final corner.
Who wins? He's done it.
Fantastic drive, start to finish. Pulls to the pit lane. 60 laps racing completed. I think he'd run out of fuel at the end of the race there.
Seems like it. There's no engine sound.
But yeah, that's.
Rositis, meanwhile, is coming around the last corner. That's a massive podium for Racing Army.
Yeah, really great job for them.
Chase Merck, though, well, he was looking very good. He's one of the most laps on the server and, well, involved in an accident. And now he's going to come round the last corner. It's only P3, it's still a podium, which I'm sure he'll happily take.
Yeah, obviously, probably disappointing from his perspective, but P3 still a good result, good finish, good haul of points for him and the team. I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, really good job from Merrick. And then P4 is Ward, who obviously had the impact earlier on, and then yeah, just been suffering throughout the race with that. Yeah, Dragoon, our winner at Indianapolis for Concord. Really great job. See if we have any interviews coming up now.
If anyone will come in, it'll be interesting. We will could be a very quick ending to the stream if no one does, but let's give a minute as we always do.
So yeah, Dragoon doing donuts on the start-finish straight there. Very happy with his result, as he deserves to be. Yeah, maybe just put the clutch in and coasted the car over the line. We'll switch to some interviews now. See if we've got anyone here. That does not seem so. We'll hang around a little bit though.
Yep, so it was a well, do you want to say a light stuff flag victory? Because obviously Rositis briefly led.
I mean, definitely. You can't criticize really. Obviously, yeah, Rositis did take the lead for those few laps, and he will gain the point for those few laps. But Dragoon did not put a foot wrong that race. Cannot say anything against that performance. Rositis, again, he did a really great job. Just didn't have the raw pace that Dragoon was able to manage. But still, P2's really solid result, as you said, for him and the team. And then yeah, just the DAC Racing cars, they had the numerical advantage, but clearly not able to keep it out of trouble, not able to keep the pace up and keep it fast, keep it clean. So yeah, P3, P4, and a DNF, which will be classified P5 for them, is a bit of a disaster. We do not seem to have anyone wanting to jump in for an interview.
So we're just going to end it at that. Thank you very much for joining us. We do apologise. It wasn't the greatest stream ever. It was very late. I didn't even know I was commentating until 5 minutes before the race started. So, there you go. I'd like to thank Alex for offering to stream it for me. Yep, thank you very much. And that is it.
No
Goodbye.
problem. Glad to be here. Yeah, that's Formula Trout, and we will be back next week for the. We will be back for Suzuka. My microphone isn't being picked up. Apologies. We will be back next week for Suzuka. Yeah, in the Premier Series, and then a week after that, we will be at Road America, back in the RSS Hyperion. So see you then.